Hello and welcome to my new channel here on YouTube. My name is Max and in today's first project we are gonna make these Game of Thrones inspired dragon eggs. On this channel we will create in the future of course some awesome and new DIY projects, and as you may notice, English is not my first language, so I hope you can apologize some mistakes in the video. I try to get better, hopefully, but that's enough. Let's start with the project. So we're gonna need some styrofoam eggs, of course 3 of them, a sponge, and what I forgot here also is steel sponge. Use white modeling clay which dries by itself, acrylic paint, choose your favorite colors, and also what I recommend, metallic colors, tools and brushes, and of course water for painting and modeling the clay. It doesn't matter which size you choose for your dragon eggs, but in my case here they were too small for me. Unfortunately I couldn't find bigger ones. To make them bigger, use some clay and cover the entire egg with it. Make sure to keep the egg form intact and use water to smooth everything out. At the end it should look like this. This step is optional, but I want the eggs later on a plinth or a pedestal, so that's the reason why I made this hole while the clay is still soft. After drying it should look like so. Don't worry if some cracks formed, we can cover them later with the scales. For scaling the dragon eggs you need a lot of patience and time. To make this progress maybe easier, I tried 2 different techniques. So the first one is, we form a small amount of clay into a small ball and flatten 1/2 out. Form or shape the flat part to a spike and attach it then on the egg. Make sure that each layer of scales will slightly overlap the layer beneath. Start with smaller scales at the bottom and become bigger with every next layer. And then again get smaller when you're reaching the top. For that, draw some guidelines because they will help you a lot. The second method to form a scale is more easier and less time consuming. Roll or flatten some amount of clay out, use water to get a nice even surface and underlay. Guys, do not make the same mistake as I did and mess up your entire table. Let the clay sit for an hour or 2 that it becomes slightly dried but not completely hardened. And yes, use something to cover your working space and protect your table from any scratches. After the clay is slightly dried and still flexible, we can start to cut them into 1 cm, which is quite a 1/2 inch wide stripes, and then each stripe into 2 cm or round about 1 inch long pieces. Do not use the best scissors you can find, a cheap one works also totally fine here. Cut the pieces into a scale, smooth the edges with water out and attach it to the egg, or attach it on the egg, I don't know. After drying it should look like so. On the top I formed here this triangle-y thing, and then we can move on to the next step. In this series we see that the dragon eggs were half fossilized. To create this texture we need 1 of these steel sponges and in water pre-soaked clay, which is basically mud. Dab the clay, or mud in this case, with the steel sponge into the scales, you know, in all these little holes and edges. So after drying it, we should end up with an fossilized looking egg and can move on to the next step. It doesn't matter which color your eggs have, like blue, orange, pink or silver. Choose your favorite one, but I prefer the original colors, except for Viserion's egg. I don't like this beige golden color gradient, and I choose blue because, you know, we all know what happened to him, so anyway. So at first paint the bottom black, followed by your preferred color. Don't worry if it's too dark looking, we will fix this later. Use or mix lighter and darker shades and paint them in different layers on the egg. For some color shades I also used silver to get a nice shiny finish. Blend everything with a regular sponge out. We want a nice color gradient without any of these lines, I hope you know what I mean. To create a more natural look and give the scales more depth, paint some spots darker and other parts lighter, and blend everything again with the sponge out. Repeat the blending steps until you're satisfied with the results. After drying, we can sprinkle the dragon eggs with white or silver color, and after that we are finished and done with the first project here. So thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more interesting and awesome DIY projects. Give this video a thumbs up and follow me on Instagram, I would very appreciate it, and let me know in the comments if you want to see how I made these pedestals for the dragon eggs. So yeah, see you next time, bye!